Croeso Sianel Blaid Llwyd. Welcome back to Automne, and we're in chapter 3. So, I don't have much more to say than that. Let's get straight into it. The kiss keeps playing over and over in my head as I walk home. I can't stop touching my lips. I'm not sure if the mocha aftertaste is from the kiss or... No, I had coffee and chocolate. That's all me. Wait, why isn't my key working? I'm absolutely baffled as I attempt to slide the key into the lock again. Oh, that's the key for my apartment back in San Francisco. The door opens a crack, a single eye peering out at me from the slit. As I give a bashful grin, the door swings wide. Oh, did the key not work? Well, the key to my place back in San Francisco certainly didn't. We both laugh and I step into the house, giving her a hug as I nudge the door shut with my heel. Her nose gives a wiggle. Downtown at the coffee shop. She turns and saunters on back towards the kitchen. Yeah. Drip is good, but I wanted to just get out. I swear that place hasn't changed since it opened. I hang my jacket on the coat rack, making sure to retrieve my phone from the pocket and follow after her into the kitchen. She's got the local paper spread across the counter. I think the prices have gone up a little. But that's about it. Noticing the cup of coffee next to the paper, I look over to the pot. There's still about a cup's worth of left. I hitch my tail behind my back and grab another mug from the cabinet. How long do you think someone has to wait for moving on to a new relationship? She rustles the paper. Oh, I don't know that I'd say there's any fixed amount of time. It's whatever feels right for you. I slowly turn, expecting to find her looking at me. To my surprise, she's still leaning over the counter reading the paper. I pout a bit, having wanted attention, and huff, then take a sip of coffee. That mom sense must have kicked in, because without even looking at me, she says, "Oh, don't sulk, you're 32. Use your words." Her tail gives a few agitated shakes as I sigh. Sorry. I met someone down at Cup Joe. He seems like a nice person. I mean, I told you a bit about what happened with Jason. But talking with him made me realise my relationship with Jason really ended more than a month ago. It was more akin to going through the motions. Her nails click against a tabletop. She straightens up, then turns to face me. I'm sorry, honey. This is definitely out of my realm of experience. That said, once you're comfortable enough with someone, you can... Well, it becomes easier to take for granted the excitement you had when you first met. I don't know if that's where we ended up, but... I pause, taking a quick sip of my coffee, wondering how much I should divulge to my mother. When he dumped me, he made it fairly clear that if I wasn't making any money, then I wasn't worth his while. The way her tail starts to shake reassures me that I'm not alone and really should be angry. She folds her arms across her chest. Did he? Well, if I have to say, I'm glad I never met this boy. I set my coffee mug on the counter and step over and give her a warm hug. I'm sorry you never got the chance. You might have talked some sense into me. When I dip back from the hug, she's just looking at the floor. I hope you didn't feel like you weren't welcome. I know that things were... She seems flustered, so I offer her own advice with a little grin. Use your words. Unfortunately, this was not the appropriate time for our family's usual snark. Her tail gives a few warning flicks. When your father died, I didn't take it well. There's no blame to push anywhere, but I know I put the brunt on you. I collect my coffee cup again, cradling it with both hands, nursing the bitter drink along with my response. I'm sorry, Ma. Losing a loved one is hard. There's a long silence. It's nice to have you home. Just as quietly I respond. It's nice to be here. We make excuses to the things we need to do. I retreat upstairs to my room. Once there, I crawl into bed, burrow into the covers, then roll onto my side before bringing my phone to life. There's a string of messages from Stephan. Do you mind getting dirty? Well, that came out completely wrong. Does dust or dirt or the like bother you? I have an idea for tomorrow. I unlock my phone and head into messages, quickly typing out a response. That would have been too easy. But no, not really. If it's dirty and cold, I'm a little less inclined. There are a few unread emails in my inbox, mostly ads. And one from the ex. I click into it in a single line. I like how you ran away. Mail back the apartment keys. I click on reply and start typing out some choice words when the phone vibrates and Stephan's text slides down from the top of the screen. It shouldn't be cold. Well, most likely not. I hope not. This draws a smile out of me, so I erase the string of profanities and simply reply, You got it, boss, to Jason before heading back to text with Stephan. My thumbs are a flurry. I'll make sure to dress appropriately then. Where shall I pick you up? Comes his response. A coffee shop? A moment later. I laughed to myself. I don't know if the baristas would be able to contain themselves. Did you see them cheering? I hitched the blankets a little higher, waiting for the phone to buzz. I was a little preoccupied. I start typing. How about you just pick me up from home? I tack on the address and send it his way. After a few seconds he responds, I'll see you at 1 tomorrow. An idea strikes. I sit up and peel off the tee I'm wearing before flopping back on the bed. My thumb navigates the camera and I strike a coquettish pose. With my face half hidden in the overstuffed pillow and my free arm draped over my chest, I snap a pic that's equal parts cute and sultry. I send it to him, then draw the phone closer, really looking at it. Yeah, that's a good photo. I'd fuck me. As I wait for his response, I crest over my caffeine high and become extremely drowsy. I thumb the power button of my phone, check for messages, but warmth envelops me and I drift off to sleep. A shout wakes me up. I can't make out anything until my mother's distinct voice bellows, Inside Voices! That keeps the twins down for all of 15 seconds before laughter drinks through the house. I grin, checking my phone and find a one-word response to the photo. Whoa! Rolling over, I sling my legs to the side of the bed and sit up. My phone is abandoned for the shirt I'd removed, and I quickly slip it on once again before sending a response. Sorry, I'd fallen asleep. We'll see you tomorrow. A yawn racks my body, my arms jerkily stretching above my head as I make a few extremely strange noises. Fully dressed, I join the rest of my family downstairs. Caleb and Evan are holed up in the TV room, playing some sort of video game, so pop my head in and say hello. Corey in the house! Oh my god, shut up, Caleb. The game is paused for toothy grins, happy tales and a bunch of hugs. They've grown up so much since I was last home. So, dude, it's nice to finally see you. Caleb. What, man? It's been home almost an entire day. Sorry, Corey. I think what Caleb's trying to say is we're both excited to have you home. Caleb flips off Evan for giving me another hug. Guilty as charged, I guess. But yeah, you should have said hi this morning. A pillow is hurtled towards Caleb's face, but he catches it, spikes it, and hollers. Touchdown! God, you're an idiot. But I'm your idiot, Evan. I'm sorry, Caleb. You're right. I should have checked to see if you guys were awake last night, or at least popped out to say hello this morning. Regardless, it really is nice to see you again, Corey. You too, Evan. There are a couple more hugs, and when they finally get back to their game, ask what kind of pizza they want. Pepperoni, thin crust. It's always strange when they pull that kind of linked twin stereo talk. Ma has finished laundry, is in the dining room folding clothes. Have a good nap? Yeah. Guess I needed the sleep. Can you help me fold these? She grabs a fitted sheet from the pile. I help her through the larger pieces, 4 hands making the linens and a couple of tablecloths a much more easy affair. I move on to the basket of towels. Where did you want to order from? There's a new place down on Main that has a pretty great thin crust. It's called Tony's. The boys really like it. She's matching socks, then turn them in on themselves to form little sock bombs. Cool. You want any specific toppings? See you near after pepperoni. Kids in Greece. They have a very nice prosciutto and arugula if you want to split that. That sounds good. Give me a second, I can get dinner handled. I slip my phone from my pocket, Google the restaurant, then tap their phone number to place the order. Should be here in a little over half an hour. We make quick work of the rest of the laundry, then split up to return it to its respective spots throughout the house. With chores out of the way, I head back to the TV room to hang out with my brothers while we wait for dinner. This somehow gets me roped into playing, and as the controllers are handed around, I get schooled several times in what turns out to be the newest Street Fighter game. It's hilarious how bad I am at it. Both Caleb and Evan are in fits of laughter by the time the pizza shows up. Dinner is a lot of catching up. Caleb, while getting decent grades, is apparently the epitome of the small-town jock. He started varsity for football and has plans to play basketball as well as wrestle. Evan is a bit harder to get talking now that they're away from the game. He's maintaining a 4.0 grade point average, being taking part in Future Problem Solvers of America. Along with this, he's been volunteering at a local food bank. Ma, it turns out, has been able to take care of the house because one of her friends helped her come up with a diversified portfolio that's had nice returns. After dinner, I retreat to my room, snagging the novel I'm currently working on and curling up in bed to read before I finally pass out. As giddy as I am, it takes me a while to fall asleep. The clock on my nightstand reads 1:11 as I finally nod off. This affords me the luxury of a late start the next morning, which is nice. I'm sure I'd have put too much effort in trying to prepare for this afternoon. Donning some grey yoga pants, I wanted to get a cup of coffee. There's another note from my mother. She's off to meet with her financial advisor over a long lunch to have the next few hours alone. After pouring a cup of coffee, I decided unpacking what little I brought with me is my best option. My clothing is sorted and separated, deposited into the dresser I grew up with. I set aside a pretty slim grey t-shirt, along with a pair of faded jeans for the afternoon. There's a brief shower, along with that ritual of getting presentable for a date. The difference today is that I do take the time necessary to fully blow dry my fur. It takes ages. A little less than half an hour till he arrives, I decide I should have something to eat, so I grab my phone from the charging station and head on down to make some toast. As I'm applying a liberal amount of butter, I get a text. Heading your way. Be there in 15. Looks like overnight there have been a few additional messages from Ruffer, along with a couple of texts from friends back in the bay. I ignore them, smear some jam on the toast, then quickly eat. With moments to spare, I pull on my shoes, don my jacket, and step out to wait on the porch. I plop down the railing, leaning back against the post, and let my eyes wander up the street. A car turns the corner block up, and I know it's him. My tail hitches behind me as I stand and saunter on down to the street as he pulls up. It's a swift-looking little red convertible. He reaches across, unlocking the passenger side door, which allows me to swing it open and settle next to him. Before buckling in my belt, I lean his way, reaching behind myself to tug my tail to the side. There's a hand on my shoulder, giving a fond squeeze, which prompts me to look his way. It's my turn to be surprised as his muzzle meets mine for a brief, friendly kiss. Stephan gives a deep rumble before settling both hands on the steering wheel and pulling back into the street. My ears are surely red, and my tail is doing its best to block his access to the passenger side view mirror, so I wrangle it into my lap and grin.
Afternoon.
Hey, what kind of car is this? I take a look around, admiring the black leather interior along with the panelling system in the centre console. The cassette player definitely dates it. I look back, amused by how he consumes the entirety of the driver's side seat.
Oh, she's my baby.
He signals for a left turn, pausing to look both ways before he takes it and continues.
A 75 Alfa Romeo Spider. I'd imported from a collector in Pisa.
He runs a gloved hand gently along the steering wheel.
Not really suitable for Midwest driving. I love her.
Definitely feels like you. I mean, when you turned the corner, I knew that it had to be you.
Well, thanks.
He takes a stop at the traffic light on Main, then turns back to look at me again, eyes rolling over my body.
Boss, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear that I wore that yesterday.
I hook a finger in my collar, pulling it to a point mid-chest. This would probably be a bit more accurate. This draws a laugh from him. I let loose, then heft my shoulders in a coy shrug. Must be a coincidence. I just snagged something out of my bag. He's shaking his head, still chuckling.
I absolutely believe you.
Good. And then it's my turn to admire. At this point, I'm convinced the only type of shirt he owns are V-necks. That thatch of honey-coloured chest hair peeking free and fabric bunched under his chest. He's perfect. The black leather driving gloves are like a second skin. I watch as his fingers caress the steering wheel, almost whimpering. Maybe it's the gloves, or like it's the interior of the car, but his scent carries with it the very specific aroma of well-cared-for leather. My nose must be wiggling, so after a moment he asks,
What are you sniffing at?
Oh, well, you. It just seems... I look over at him, seeing as I'm having such trouble trying to say what I want without sounding stupid. Stephan, you're so hot. And you smell really good. I'm glad that we've pulled up to another red light, because the way he laughs we probably would have driven off the road. As we're waiting for the light to change, he looks over at me.
Corey, I could say the same of you. Seems like you need to relax a little.
He sets his right hand atop my head, mussing my hair a bit before letting his thumb drift down to smooth out the worry lines creasing my brow. My eyes close, I nose at his forearm fondly. And then we're driving again. When I do open them again, I turn to watch the scenery. I've been casually paying attention during the trip, so I know we're in a neighbourhood towards the east side of town. During elementary school, we came to a state park here and learned about the production of maple syrup. If we're heading to the reserve, I already know about maple syrup. Actually, where are we going?
We're almost there. You'll see in a moment.
He turns the convertible down a private drive, hitting the brake of the thick, unkempt hedges which line the property. The drive is gravel, and would be overgrown if not for the fact that as we approach the house there's a for sale sign, which means that some semblance of care has been maintained, at least for potential buyers to reach the place. I gasp as I take in the size of the house. It's sprawling and awe-inspiring, even in its current state of disarray. As the car comes to a stop, I pop the door and jump out, wandering up the rickety front stairs before turning back. What is this place? Stephan joins me on the front porch of the estate.
The Carney Mansion. There's not much to look at from the outside. I thought that maybe a bit of urban exploration could be fun. I'm acquainted with the person representing the property. Asked if I could have a look around the place today and snagged the keys on my way over. He steps over the giant double door, fitting the key to the lock before throwing both wide. After you.
I step inside, muttering wow as my eyes adjust to the dimmer light, my tail flicking excitedly behind me. How much is it listed at?
Well, it's valued just over 230,000. However, the current owner is asking for a little over $1 million.
He closes the doors behind him, leaving us in the dim light streaming through the glass dome in the ceiling. I look up at it, trying to make out its features, then become aware of the Wolverine's presence as he sidles up beside me. It's a pretty big markup.
Well, it certainly is.
His arm finds its way around my shoulders. The touch is gentle, but it's electric to me, and I find myself flush against him. My arms slip around his waist and press my face to his chest, inhaling deeply, enjoying the purely male scent he has. He mouths at my ear before rubbing his muzzle over the top of my head and planting a kiss there. I shift as my jeans tighten. My hands slide under his leather jacket, fingers finding their way past the hem of his shirt and nails trailing over the small of his back. His tail gives a few quick thumps against his rear. I can feel the lurch in his pants with our bodies this close. Not wanting to push things, I peel back, taking the rest of the room while I quite unsubtly adjust my groin. There are pocket doors leading off each side of the room, along with a central staircase ascending to a second floor. I squeeze his hip and wander over to one of the sets of doors. It opens on what I can only imagine was a pretty magnificent sitting room at one point in time. He eases up behind me, obviously wanting to keep the closeness I just separated. Huge hands settle on my waist as he nudges up to my back. The outline of his erection is apparent. I can feel warmth on my back as he leans down and rumbles in my ear.
The mansion was originally built in 1920. As a token of love, the manifestation of how much Edward Carney cared for his wife. Supposedly she knew about it and had a fair amount of involvement in the planning of construction.
His right hand is straight from my hip, fingers curling around the bottom of my shirt and peeling it up to expose the base of my stomach. He's nosing at my ear again, breath heavy along my neck. Fingers release my shirt and he presses his palm flat to my stomach. I glance down, watching his pinky and ring finger dip beneath the waist of my jeans. They discover the waist of my briefs, then pause. I haven't realised it till now, but I'm shaking. My breath catches in my throat as I wriggle out of his grasp. Sorry. Tail thrashing behind me, I wander into the sitting room, trying to get my wits back, then spin back to find him still lingering in the doors. He's wearing a quirked brow, his body language is inquiring as to if he's gone too far. My shoulders quake a bit, and through chattering teeth I explain. This is actually a good thing. When I get really excited, it just kind of happens. And this is YouTube. We are going to have to skip the upcoming scene. But download Automne, you can see it all for yourself. Without speaking, we shift to sitting. He reaches over, hand curling around the back of my neck, and gives me another deep kiss. It's filled with hundreds of unspoken words and carries with it the flavours of each of our bodies. His forehead meets mine. We grin at each other like a couple of boys who just experienced what being an adult is really like. Urban exploration? He laughs, offering up that toothy grin which I'm finding more and more handsome each time I see it.
Well, I'll be honest, this isn't quite what I had in mind. But I'm not disappointed.
He drops his hand from my neck, then sits back, pulling his shirt back down his torso. I follow suit, smoothing down my shirt before slowly standing. My tail's lost its mind and is dancing around behind me. Definitely a memorable date. I grin at him as I hitch my briefs, covering my sticky cock, then pull up my jeans and make quick work of the button fly. He reaches my way, so I take his hand in mine, helping him to his feet. Do you always go commando? He gives a little shimmy, drawing the tight denim back of his thick thighs.
Not always. Depends on the mood, really. And how tight the pants are.
Jackets are collected, put back on, and we stand there.
Do you want to look around more?
I look at myself. The knees of my pants are filthy, as is the side of my body I was laying on. I smell like sex. My throat stings from having just swallowed God knows how much cum. So I just grin at him. How about date 3 we actually explore? He gives a hearty laugh, then slings his arms around me, hugging tight. I melt into the embrace, hands wandering up and down his broad back.
I'm a little worried there won't be a date 3.
Of course there will be. When we finally leave, the light outside the house is blinding. I raise a hand, shielding my eyes as they adjust. He looks up quickly and we're soon driving back to my house. Except during this ride, we're holding hands. Fingers twined. There we go, that was chapter 3, and yes, I did have to cut a chunk, and if you're paying attention, yeah, I also cut another line there, just because YouTube, there's just some stuff I can't even say on there without getting a lot of trouble, but you should definitely download this and read it for yourself, and for any reason you have to go with the not safe for work option, you can still watch the scene. I love the way they've censored the scene. You watch it and understand what I mean while I'm laughing. Well, that's very funny. But yeah, that is a very good update. And of course, when chapter 4 comes out, we'll be returning to this story. I'm really enjoying it. And I've said it before, I love seeing an older character with Stephan. And, you know, Corey's like 32. So it's nice to see some older characters represented in a furry VN. Well, not all in our early 20s at university. So this will be a continuing series. So thanks to Bieka for making this and the rest of the team. Much appreciated. So coming up next weekend, only one video. That will be Moonfire Seeker's Saga. Coming up in May, we do have a new update for Nevin. We'll be catching up on things in Frostfang there. I think that's around the 17th of May. There'll be more Echo, other stuff, which I could tell you if I actually had my schedule up, which I don't, because I'm too busy recording. But there'll be more stuff. I'll let my patrons know as ever. And actually, I've had an idea for my patron-only Discord to do with this particular update of this VN. I'm not going to say any more, but I will. Bieka, if you're watching this, haven't got a hold of you already, I'll talk to you about that first. And speaking of my patrons, I just want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You're all very, very much appreciated. And my top patrons are Lark Huskerton and Greylock, Addy Bear, Welpers Need Coffee, Aramatarasu, Tiger Cub, Samuto, Spiderling, Rafu, Omar, Mario Cervantes, Makenya, Kartek, Evan King, Harvest Mouse Productions, Grizz, Exac, Dissonance, Copus Fisser, Brian Hall, Bieka, Bastian, Aaron Fox, and Andy Peng. It's nice actually having some VN creators who support me. It's obviously like what I'm doing, which is always good to know. But that is it for Automne. Apart from the fact that I actually had to look up arugula once. Apparently it's rocket. That's literally what I know it as. It's called that in Britain. But someone wanted a fancy name for it, so there you go. You've learned something there if you didn't already know that. But yeah, Moonfire, Seeker Saga, Chapter 7, next weekend. And eventually I do want to get back to more midweek videos, some short ones, some more Yelmac Chronicles, that kind of thing. Eventually, trust me, we'll get there. But for now, thanks for watching. Bye for now.